Yes, it is. To Greenwood Cemetery here. And we are in. This is the first Civil War memorial in New Orleans, and another Confederate monument designed actually by the same man who designed, if you remember at Metairie, the Stonewall Jackson Central Monument. We flew right by his head, very close, and also the Beauregard tomb. Those statues, a very gifted man named Achille Pirelli. And on top we see an unknown soldier. He's holding his rifle. Looks like it's taken a little bit of wear with the weather, being the oldest statue, but the busts that are below it are in remarkable condition. Credit to the climate here in the deep south. The marble holds up pretty well compared to the north. We have 4 busts. We have Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee. We got Polk and Johnson, Albert Sidney Johnson. Benevolent Protective Order of Elks Society. That's what this represents. Very interesting. You see in there it says the 11 o'clock toast. They would come at 11 o'clock at night and they would make these toasts. And the elk that's up there, you know, they would say their Elks Club thing. And I'm not going to go up there. You could climb up there, I suppose. But if you see it, it's standing on a tumulus. It is a stone marker, and it has a pointer on the other side, and it points to 11 o'clock. Very interesting monument here to the Firemen's Charitable Association. Look at that. And it goes way up. Try and zoom in on him. Beautiful statue. It says dedicated October 26, 1887. You gotta love the history here, how old this stuff is. There is a plaque here. Take a look at. The cemetery was established in 1852 by the Firemen's Charitable and Benevolent Association. And it was an extension of Cypress Grove Cemetery. And it was when this yellow fever was really bad here. And this association had to really expand their cemetery from across the street. These appear derivatives of what's called step tombs. You can see how space is a premium here. Here's an interesting one called Barrett, family name. Not terribly old. Like at Metairie and all the other cemeteries here and graveyards, you see multiple names on each crypt, tomb. All the family members are together commingling. The first person here, Kenneth Leo Perez, passed away in 1929, so this is not terribly old. And the last person to be interred here is Gertrude Perez Hunter, and this was in 2003. Here's what appears to be a very old step tomb. There's beautiful metalwork here. E.S. Wurzburger. Horace E. Massey. 1874-1936. Now that one's a little harder to read. $1829. That goes way back. Here are a couple of examples of cast iron tombs. Here's the family tomb of H.M. Summers. Never seen this before. Ooh, let's look in. That's solid. It's like it's holding up okay. There's another one right over here that has an iron gate. Look at this, wow. I see 1843, father passed in 1895. John Walker Coleman, and then the mother, Ann Heaton Brownlee. 1854, 1922. So again, we have multiple names going down the line. They're all in here together. Look at this iron work. Interesting. Do I say interesting a lot? Because it is. I can't get over some of this stuff. Let's carry on. Another example of stepped tombs. Absent but not forgotten. These go pretty far back. It's all bricked up. There's crypts in the back here. Let's see what it looks like in the front. Boy, you just start walking around, you never know what you're going to find. Well, there's 3 stones with a whole bunch of names. So this has a pretty big crowd. Look at this. Here is another example. I think this is cast iron. Some of them are painted and then left, and some are repainted. This one has been painted, it looks like, but it looks like it's been a while. Look at the detail work here. And they all say family vault or family tomb. I'm looking for a little girl. Oh my gosh, look at that over there. I'm looking for a little girl that I think is around here. Very interesting tomb. But I see another interesting one up here. And I love when I see the French names. I feel like I'm going back in a time machine. They're so romantic. Look at this. What kind of a creation is that? Well, the top fell off. It's wired on there. Look at that. I see a number of these tombstones lying down. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this thing. There you guys. I'm gonna reach in here. I see Ireland, Galway, 1800 to 1874. Wow. We are in a time machine, folks. Very intriguing. All kinds of things going on here. I see an interesting note on this gravestone at the bottom. Alexander, all the way down, and Mrs. Ellen Alexander, last of all. Okay. Look at that. The bell tolls. Broken into many pieces, but still discernible. Mrs. Mary F. Hall died June 21st, 1869. Age, it looks like 90 something, or 9, maybe it might be 9. No, it wouldn't be 9, she's a Mrs. Mrs. Sarah G. Ripley died in 1869 on June 1st. And it says something about children. Well, it's kind of sad to see this. Just generations from now, we'll not be able to see this. Maybe it's time to put this in a museum. Well, here's a devastated tomb. Just demolished. It reminds me of the castle at Metairie. And by the way, Metairie is right over the highway here. Look at this. I wonder if down below they're under those bricks. Now these step tombs, they would lay a layer of bricks on there, and you can see those bricks are from the 1800s. Let's take a close look. Look at that. It's hard to imagine that this just fell apart like this. But we do have a tombstone here that we can look at. Robert G. Murphy died May 3rd, 1874. He was 23 years old. And underneath him, Jane C. Willis, who was the widow of Thomas W. Marsone. Boy, these go back 1828, 1885. Pretty hilarious. I'm looking all over this cemetery for that little girl. This is the front entrance. And where is it? It's right here. The marker's right here. And there's a huge marker for her. It looks like she died at 1 year and 4 months. Florence on May 23rd, 1864. Robbie died November 13th, 1864, aged 3 days. Terrible. Yellow fever, I'm guessing, guys. That's why they established this expansion cemetery. There are others underneath, 24 years old, 5 months and 8 days. That would be Robert Hyde Roberts. And John Walter Roberts died October 13th, 1903 at 27 years. But what I found most interesting was this marker for little Florence. And I'm going to see if we can, I'm not going to be able to get over there. But it's a sleeping child softly on a pillow, and you can read it. It says at the bottom, "Dear parents, wipe away your tears and weep no more for me. Although the blow may be severe, remember I am free." Wow. It's a beautiful, beautiful epitaph poem. All right, I'm gonna head over to Cypress Grove Cemetery, which is right across the street here. There's one grave I want to show you. I haven't seen it yet, but I understand it's there. It's a Chinese Association vault, so let's go wall vault or mausoleum, not sure what it is. We'll check it out, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm at the Cypress Grove Cemetery across the street. Actually, this cemetery was established first by the firemen, the benevolent firemen, for the firemen in 1840. And I have to tell you, the history on this is really interesting. Firemen in New Orleans and firemen everywhere were critical, but especially so in New Orleans because it was a tinderbox. In the 17 and 1800s, they had several fires that just completely devastated this place. And they had to build from the ashes, from the ground, completely rebuild. So again, yellow fever hit, this cemetery maxed out, and thus Greenwood was created. This here is the Suno Tong Association tomb. It was constructed at the turn of the 20th century. And the local Chinese that were buried here included ceremonies with what they call burning prayers. Now, if you go back to the Marlon Ochoa Lopez video I did several months ago, where the baby was taken from her womb while she was alive, she was murdered. Really terrible story. But in that video is a really good example of a ceremonial burn. I'm not sure what exactly it's called, but it's where they would do they call it the burning papers. They'd burn money, they'd burn plants and all kinds of other things. And it was in a small fireplace and in this one, from what I understand, in the rear corridor, they have one of these, and they would bring food and drink to the burial site here and do these rituals. So the remains were eventually removed and sent to China in this particular tomb, crypt. And well, that's a custom that I understand no more doesn't prevail anymore. But let's take a look and see what it looks like in there. Like I said, I don't scout this stuff out first because I want to bring you along, and if I act surprised, it's because I really am surprised. So here at the top it says Chinese Cemetery, July 19th, 1904. This is locked, not that we need to go in. And there you do see in the back what I was talking about. I'll zoom in. Where these ceremonies were done, and are still done, it looks like. There is a vaulted ceiling. This does not look to be marble. It looks to be, well, not sure what it is. Nothing elaborate. I don't see any names, just numbers, of course, because people were and possibly are still rotated out of here. By the way, I noticed there's something else back there that's interesting. Maybe nothing, but I'm going to zoom in on it and we'll review it in editing. And that is this, looks like a fireplace. It's got to be a fireplace. Can't see from here, but that's what it looks like to me. Interesting. So that is the Chinese custom. I don't know if it's just Chinese. It may be an Asian custom. All right, that'll wrap it up for today, and we'll see you on the next one.